Today is session number 218, and our topic of discussion today is a brain fog, its impacts, and the way to heal them. So this is our topic of discussion today. And first I will go through like a medical definition and what the medical doctors say about this phenomenon, and then later I will give you the insights on the spiritual perspective on that, and then of course that healing and how to get out of it. But initially I will explain about the traditional method, like the medical practitioners, what you do for information, and then we'll go into the higher level of discussions on that one. Okay, so what is brain fog? So brain fog, actually, the medical terminology, they say this is a form of cognitive impairment. Cognitive means cognition, like our senses, how we see it and things like that. And there is a cognition, cognitive impairment means it is something it is damaged cognitive ability, or it is reduced cognitive ability. Let's see how they define it. They are defining it that, just a moment, someone wants to get in. Okay, now they define it as a brain fog is a common group of symptoms that affect how you think, remember, and concentrate. It can make doing ordinary tasks challenging. You might lose your train of thoughts in the middle of a conversation. It's usually temporary, but the length of the time you will experience brain fog can vary. So this is one way of explaining what is brain fog. And also that's a little more medical terminology. They said the brain fog is a term for a range of symptoms that cause cognitive impairment. But just I told you, that is they are defining. Cognitive impairment, there is a medical terminology, have a big explanation of what are those, etc. I'm not going into that detail. It's a form of that. This affects your ability to think clearly, focus, concentrate, remember, and pay attention. These points are important. I will come back to that on explaining how it affects. So what are the things that think clearly, clarity in thinking, focus. When we focus and concentration, when you focus on something or concentrate on something. Next is remembering things, it affects that, and paying attention, whether we can give a proper attention or not. So all these areas are getting affected. So these affects your ability to think clearly, focus, concentrate, remember, and pay attention. I'm just reading what the medical practitioners they say. Medical science say. Like its name, these symptoms could cloud your mind and make it difficult to perform routine tasks like holding a conversation, listening to instructions, or remembering the steps of something you are doing. Then they go on saying that brain fog, also called mental fog, can happen often an illness as a side effect of a medication like chemotherapy, or as a symptom of an underlying condition. So the healthcare provider can help to determine what causing the brain fog and help you to feel more like yourself. So this is what the medical science says. Okay, so now, like common person's understanding is, what is fog? We all experience fog, right? So fog is, suppose you are driving most of the time it happens in the winter, that in the morning time, it is still, that is, you cannot see the areas, morning or evening time, it is hazy outside because of the fog, this minor water particles. So they are in the ground level so that you cannot see what is around you. In the lighter fog, you can see up to certain distance, but in dense fog, even few meters away, you cannot see. And that is why it is very, very dangerous to drive during the fog. there is a special skill involved in drying in the foggy area, because you cannot see that, car in front of you. You can go and bang them and meet with an accident. So that's why. And there are several, driving technique has been followed. We have been, who does the driving training, they have a special training for fog, driving during fog. So we need to follow certain rules, regulations in the lighter fog. Denser fog, they said just, pull out the vehicle and wait till fog clears. That's it. Yeah. So you cannot drive. And same thing happens to the flights and all this. Too much fog, even flight cannot take off or land. So that's what we have to be cautious. There's a chance of getting accident. Why? Because you don't see it all clearly. So it affects the clarity of your environment. Yeah. So this fog also, it's supposed to be temporary. So the brain fog is not normally call it as a permanent disorder of the brain. It is a temporary, when it comes, it affects like a cloud. Sometimes the cloud covered and it start raining and then it cleared. So it's a temporary event, but still it has got some impact, our ability to operate in our daily lives. So, and also you can, the fog, it can be, but just I explained the fog outside the roads and all that is external fog. Sometimes the fog can temporarily created. Those of you who are wearing spectacles, the glasses, if you say you are inside a mall, which is fully air conditioned, it is a little bit, what is called, the moisture in the air. So it is humid outside, but inside you are in a mall. So when you just go out of that, of the mall, you see your spectacles, they fall, suddenly it becomes foggy, like some water particle accumulates on it. Not only spectacles, anything, even these kind of things can happen when, internal air condition of the car is more and outside it is too much of, humidity, and it can also happen on the glasses on the car and different type of things. So what it does is basically it makes the outside environment is unclear. It's not very clearly seen. Same analogy has been used for the brain fog. Definitely there is not moisture inside the brain. Moisture means there are fluids, but not what is outside moisture or humidity is not there. So brain fog, that actually means in layman's terms, that it is with limited performance of the brain. Like you cannot see clearly, so brain cannot use its function clearly. So that when the clarity get affected, we call it a brain fog. So I hope that it is clear what is meant by brain fog, and more or less everybody get affected. Whoever has brain, they have got a brain fog. So just remind me some kind of, you can say lightly, some joke sort of thing. So once in the earlier part of my career, I was very addicted to work. Of course, there was alcohol also, but I was workaholic as well. So then I did some mistake and went to that time that the company's general manager, and so I explained that it is my mistake. I am sorry that I did this mistake. So he says, Raj, don't worry at all. It's all fine, all good. I appreciate you came and told us about this, but in general, it is fine. So then I was embarrassed. Because I'm always also perfectionist. The typical Virgo traits are there. So I said, no, this should not have been happened through me. I cannot just forgive myself. I did that mistake. So then he told me one thing. That's what I wanted to share with you. He said, that he gave an example of another person and said that, that person has never done any mistake. He's with us for the last 5 years, never done mistake, but you came for 2-3 times to us and saying that you have done this mistake and things like that. And so whether, we come to know about, of course we come to know, we are managing the company, but you came, it is the thing. So, why there is no so-called the mistakes from that other person. He was an equivalent in my position, but looking after another, department or area. He was telling mistake can happen to those only who are working. Okay. Means that definitely there will be no mistake if somebody doesn't work. If somebody is lazy and sleeping in the room whole day, definitely there is no work and no mistake as well. Basically, he wanted to say, he had to encourage me saying that this mistake shows that you are working. Otherwise, mistake would not have happened at all. So it is good that we can appreciate that in the process of working, few mistakes can happen. We understand that, and that's okay. It's all acceptable. And it is a human. Nobody can be 100% perfect all the time, all the jobs. It's not possible. It is normal to have some kind of mistakes. Anyway, from that point of view, I'm saying brain fog also, you cannot have 100%, perfection in everything. There will be some area which is not clear to you, or which is like, also I say that you cannot have at a given point of time, you cannot have all the informations about that particular subject. It's not possible, humanly possible. Maybe to some extent, computer can process this kind of information, huge amount of information at one go, but human brain, we cannot, and any decision we take based on the information, 100% information is not available. So we need to use our other skills, our experiences, and higher level wisdom to take decisions. Not everything is information technology. It's not possible to inform everything. And there are more to information that we have to take cognition of that one, and then accordingly we take decisions. Anyway, what I'm saying is, so it is accepted that brain fog will be, sometimes it will be there. Sometimes we may be, our thinking is not clear and all this because of many, many reasons. Your physical health is one of the issues. Suppose you are too much, we'll go into little detail what are the other areas which affect, but like too much tired or something, you are fatigued, then you cannot take correct decisions. Your mind will not work properly. Your brain will not work in 100% capacity. That time you can have some kind of brain fog. So this is called brain fog. So if it is permanently, some area is not seen, that is not called brain fog. Brain fog means temporary. Temporary, how much time? It can be for hours, it can be days, weeks, or in longer term, it may be months and years also, but it is not permanent. So let me tell you what it is called if it is a permanent. Permanent, you don't see certain things at all. In our terminology, it is called the blind spot. It is not a brain fog. Brain fog means temporarily you cannot function properly. But if it's a permanent sort of thing, some area you always overlook, you don't have any idea of certain areas of particularly your own behavior or certain issue, then that is called blind spot. And blind spot can be individual, it can be family-wise, it can be a group, it can be organization, it can be even go to a nation, go to a company, and go to even civilization. Certain areas not known, Anyway, so just to make it clear, today we are not talking about the blind spot. Blind spot, what is blind spot? I don't know that I don't know. Certain area, I don't know that I don't know. That is a blind spot. But I'm not talking about that. That is a different subject, and we had some session earlier on that. Today is only brain fog. Just like fog come temporarily, it affects, say, take the example of a driving. It affects our ability to drive at the right speed in the right direction. We cannot see the things properly. We cannot see the car in front of us and things like the other, passerbys and or maybe there are some poles on the road we have not seen, those kind of things. So it limits our ability to drive, and we slow down and all those things. And there are some temporary techniques. Some people say, as I was saying, there are some special driving techniques. We have to follow more alertness. Maybe some the vehicle are fitted with the fog lights, so that fog light is started, or there are kind of special light signals we give it to the car behind us and things like that, so that they know there is something is we are not running in the full capacity. So they are also alert. They can keep space between the vehicles and things like that. So it is a temporary phenomenon. Okay. So, and this is how it is, just simply, it is absence of a full clarity that happens. Same when any issue which affects the brain, but we cannot, function properly through all the senses, it cannot collect and process information properly. That is called brain fog. Okay. All right. Next one is how brain fog affects our day-to-day life. So how it affects, I posted one, picture. It came from some Cleveland clinic. It's a good one. So that's why I posted there. So how it affects us, day-to-day life. So they are saying many things. Like first one is a difficulty concentrating on focusing. Yeah. So obviously in the day-to-day life, any job will do, no matter whether it is brushing the teeth or cooking something or cleaning the house or driving or reading some report or whatever it is, it's, if we cannot concentrate, if we get difficult concentrating and focusing on one thing, then definitely we cannot perform that job, whatever we're doing. It's nothing to do with whether it is a high level or low level. It's nothing to do with the level. Any job we need to do. Even I just said the brushing the teeth. If we cannot concentrate properly, then we may hurt ourselves, or that job will not be done. So that is the one thing. So we need to focus on concentrating. So there's again some small story comes into my mind. I normally keep the toothpaste and the shaving cream in one place because both are the tubes. So some of the days by mistake I took the shaving cream and put it onto the brush. This is not nowadays, but earlier this kind of things happen because I cannot concentrate properly. This clearly shows the concentration issue. So, and then next is in the picture, they say this confusion. So your brain will be prone to confusion if you are happen to be in the brain fog. So the fatigue, so you can get, because things are not happening properly, the body gets tending to get frustrated and fatigued up and sit down and things like that. We don't get motivation to do things. Then they are saying this forgetfulness. The picture shows that lady forgets where she kept the car key, so it is lost. He's still searching where it is, but anyway. So there is something we kept somewhere. It is very common that we ourselves only kept that particular thing. Sometimes we keep something so safely that we ourselves, we don't know where we kept it and keep searching the whole house. It is a very common experience, day-to-day life experience we have. Forgetfulness is that. So that is another issue there. Then losing your train of thought. Like our thoughts are not coherent, like random thoughts. Like there is no link between first and then second and third. It's not like a chain. They call train of thoughts. This train is not in the sequence. It is random. It breaks the chain and start thinking about something, So a little bit in the inner chaos, that some cacophony, type behavior. So that is a symptom of losing the train of thoughts. Then it is a mental exhaustion. So that is, we may be feeling headache or, we cannot, listen to something or cannot get into any kind of the conversations and things like that. mentally too much. There's a heaviness on the brain. So there is a mental exhaustions, and it can be also, doing, here also another thing is called that there was a discussion like office talk, and some people they are saying that okay, let me give example. We work in oil field. No, there are their duty, their job is at the site level. Work on the site, some engineering thing is happening at the. Somebody wants to join in. Okay, somebody wants to the work. Not wants to. They are posted. Their duty is a site duty, and some of them are in the office duty. Okay, some like managers and the group heads and etc. They are at the office, and the site level is the engineers and who that make the things happen, oil and gas. So then what happened was somebody raised the point that we work from site, so from field. We work hard, and under the sky you have to work, in the site you have to travel quite long to the job site and come back and all those things. So, and you work in the office in the air-conditioned room and sitting in front of the computer. What do you know about that? You are supposed to living a luxurious life, your duty. So you don't supposed to, even you should not take break or leave or something. And we are working hard. We need everything. This kind of discussions. Okay. Then that the manager, he told a very, important thing. I remember important means very practical thing. What he said is, see, at the end of the day, your day ends, and what is, whether you completed the job or completed it or not at site level. You can clearly see that physically is completed, not completed. So maybe you are a long time in the site, but you came back with a satisfaction. Or you can go and attend it tomorrow, but that particular day's job is over. Whoever we working in the office, our job is never over. Every time we leave office, whether doesn't matter, it's after 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, we go with a mind full of things, what is the job's not done. So at the end of the day, even though physically you are more, exhausted, maybe you will go take bath and, then you have a snacks and eat tea and relax in front of the TV. We cannot do that. That carries with us and that's why we are very much, we exhaustion. We feel the exhaustion even though we work in so-called air-conditioned room and in front many hours in front of the computer. Yeah. So. But mental exhaustion is there because that our job never ends, and we keep getting this repeatedly. And there are a lot of decisions making has to be taken, a lot of parameters not in our hand. It makes us exhausted. And so it looks physically we are enjoying and we are sitting idle, but actually we are in a more stressful and more exhaustive condition than you are. So because you can have a sense of job completion, the joy, we never have that in the office. It has happened earlier of my career, but I still remember that practical things. Yes, it does. Sometimes when working on something, even you are reading a report, after you say you have read some report, 200 pages, your brain gets completely jammed. You think like run away. Sometimes often you go for a coffee or smokes. Now the smoke is reduced, but still it is there. Some people felt like have a relaxation. It's time. They are sitting in the office, air-conditioned office, doing so-called nothing. Why they need to have that? But they develop this drinking coffee for more frequently or going for a smoke and things like that because of this factor. Mental exhaustion. Anyway, what this point I explain in detail means if you have a brain fog, then the frequency of this mental exhaustion become more. You get more easily, go into that mode where you feel like brain is jammed, or it may start giving some like medical symptoms like a headache or, some pain or sinus or whatever, that's possible. All right, let us go next point. Next point, they're saying that not having the right words. All of us, we have seen many times, we are looking for a particular word, it is not coming. So it is temporary blackout. So we cannot just, the word is not coming. So here also in our, earlier days, we have to tell others where to get in. I cannot remember what is it called. It can be anything. It can be name of a particular player, you like, but at that moment you are not remembering the name. It can be name of a place, or it can be a something happened, memory, some event, but you still don't recall that event was dropped. The feeling comes, it is there, but you don't exactly remember what is. It is that not having the right words. So the feeling is there, but you cannot verbalize it. That word is not coming from your memory. So if it is a brain fog, is more such event happens. So losing words is quite common. Everybody does that. So, and suddenly it happens in the middle of conversation. Suddenly you lose it. You got blank. Then it is embarrassing and awkward situation in front of those listeners who are listening to you. That is also effect of a brain fog. Then the next one, they're saying slow thought process and reaction time. So slow thought process. So how do we judge whether it is fast or slow or something? Here what is meant is slow means the average person. And each activity takes a certain time. So but it is... those who are having brain fog take more than normal time. They're very slow in the processing those things. Suppose you have been given a mathematical thing to solve. So if your mind is alert and all, and there may be the same mathematical thing given in an exam to maybe 50 students sitting in that room. So out of that, maybe that top 10 maybe finish it within 5 minutes. Maybe others, they are struggling. So maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. Some of them even taking more than half an hour to do the same mathematical problem. So their processing is slow. They cannot process that mathematical logic or thing like that. So that is a slow thought processing and also reaction time. So if it is like they hear something, it takes time to process because brain is slow. And by the time they give a reaction, maybe that opportunity is lost. So this is also typical the human behavior, because sometimes they themselves, they don't know they are relatively slow. Slow means, again, with reference to others. That is the benchmark. So then slow processing time, and there are few of them, they are habitually slow in responding things. Today, I'm just giving example of the earlier days of our lives, the practical examples. So earlier days, we have to call them like a rhinoceros. Okay. There is a joke, rhinoceros, if you give good, so one day, next day, that rhinoceros will laugh. So, like that. So these are, some slow responses. So slow thought processes. So that sometimes it happens, as I mentioned, all of us, but this is one of the symptom of brain fog. And that here in that picture I posted, that poster, the last one, they said that it is trouble paying attention. So, it's quite common that somebody is saying something, the other one looking here and there, they're not paying attention to what you are saying. This happened other way also. Somebody is saying something, you just don't recognize any of the words spoken last 2-3 minutes. in the meeting or desk in the like official setup, it is very embarrassing. Yeah. So somebody said something, you didn't pick up, you didn't respond to say, or it is maybe you're in a group call, your name has been called, but you are not responding. So then somebody is shouting, "Hello, are you there?" Oh, yeah. What happened? What happened? What happened means you missed it. Yeah. So anyway, so this is the symptoms of trouble paying attention. So you're physically there, but your attention is not there into the meeting or the forum or the activity, whatever you are doing. So or something maybe collectively. So many people are doing, you're not paying attention. So this is called trouble in paying attention. These also can be caused by the brain fog. So these are the common symptoms, how it affects our life. So this is what I read from, I explained you from that picture, but I posted in the group also in the morning. Just for your reference, these are the common symptoms. They nicely put. It was that poster developed by Cleveland Clinic, Ohio, US. Cleveland Clinic, many other places in here also. In UAE also, you have very famous, huge clinic, hospital, Cleveland Clinic. But anyway, I'm not talking about particular Cleveland Clinic, but I just happened to get this picture from their website. So that's what I'm just explaining. That's good. I appreciate that the way they explained it, so it helps. Okay, so then how affects our daily life, we covered. Then what are the causes of brain fog? To some extent, we touch upon it, but again, we'll go. But what is that? What it causes? That as per the medical advice again, what medical practitioner says. So they're saying there are multiple possible causes of brain fog. Some common causes are they have identified few medical conditions. So whatever I'm going to say now, these are all medical things. And so spiritual part will come later. So first is lack of sleep that can cause brain fog. If somebody is wake up for many hours, maybe didn't sleep one night, that person, there can be some brain fog. And maybe that person should be advised not to drive because they can fall asleep on the, cause the brain fog, fall asleep on the steering, then it can meet with an accident and this kind of thing. Then there are some kind of autoimmune diseases that can also, cause brain fog. So then even the diabetes can, if someone having diabetes, that is also having a blood sugar, high blood sugar level and all those things, that is possible. So you know that I think there was a statistics like 1/4 of the world adult population, they have diabetes to some extent. I have to check. Don't take my words. Something of that ratio is quite high. The people are facing diabetes and all. So whoever is facing diabetes, they can have the brain fog. So that you have to take care of that. So in this case also, just let me give you one tips here as we are on the topic. So if you do stomach breathing regularly, then that you will not get easily affected by the blood sugar. Normally people get blood sugar when they cross the age of 40, automatically happens. And so this automatically happens. And in my case, it didn't happen for quite a long time. Still I practiced. It just last year, it happened to show a little bit pre-diabetic. That's what I'm controlling my diet now. And anyway, I was from vegetarian, I was thinking I go to fruitarian. So this, I took it as an opportunity to go into that. So I dropped taking the rice and the wheat, like a chapati or any kind of bread, sugar, like a raw sugar, raw means white sugar, or any potato, banana, and this kind of thing. So anyway, that's just my own practice, but I'm just telling you, if you are not in a category of that age of 50 plus, then earlier it can be easily if you do have this kind of tendency of the diabetic, it can be easily get over it by stomach breathing. If you practice stomach breathing regularly, diabetes cannot touch you, at least for a long time. In my case, I was having fond of eating sweets, so getting pre-diabetic last during annual medical checkup, first time in my life. I found that to be a little high sugar. Anyway, so that I am doing whatever necessary, but my normal advice would be, if you practice regularly stomach breathing, any kind of diabetic, that can be healed on its own very easily, no issues at all. So this is the kind of thing. Okay, let's move on with what are the other medical things, like it can be also, the brain fog can be caused by the mental health condition like anxiety or depression that can create like a brain fog. I'm telling what the medical science they are saying. So they're saying neurodivergent condition like autism spectrum disorder or ADHD. Let me see what is ADHD. Yeah, ADHD means attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Okay, ADHD in adults. Anyway, this is one of the neurodivergent condition. I'm not going into the medical details. I'm just saying that what are the things the medical practitioners, they say these are the cause of brain fog, and it's called stress. High stress can create this the brain fog, and also they have identified that. Let me see, somebody wants to join. They identified that some treatment, like a chemotherapy, they can also, because there is a lot of chemical changes within the body, they can affect the brain cells, and we can have that kind of brain fog. If somebody stays very long time in the hospitals, months together, they can develop brain fog. And the latest research has shown that even the COVID-19, some of them having a long COVID, they can also develop some kind of brain fog issues as per the medical research. So what they say, the research, some research shows that your immune system could cause inflammation in your brain. They call it neuroinflammation, that temporarily blocks or make it more difficult for your body to process information. So that is what the medical practitioners, they have come out with. And I just read all the points. So this is not my points. I just read them because I'm not expert. I'm not a doctor. So on that, so medical things I told you for your information. Okay. Next is about medical advices for brain fog. So what are the things they told? Now, what are the things they say? What is my view or the spiritual view? I will discuss later. Yeah. So let us see what the doctors say, how to deal with it. What are their recommendations? The recommendation, they're saying improving your sleep habits. Get a better night's rest. So this sleep is very, very important. A lot of issues we have, including the high blood sugar and all the high anxiety, etc., because of we don't have proper sleep. Our body needs sleep, and we need to have good night's sleep, no matter what you do. So I'm also blessed with my sleep never get disturbed. And even the worst possible times also in my lives, I never had any sleepless night. I might have wake up early. That's a different thing. I got my sleep, all the things I wake up early, but going to sleep is a problem. It never happened in my life. And now just little off, I'm saying that spiritually speaking, in so-called the worst days of my life, because of so many things that happen, we are all, householders. Naturally, if some close family members are they are facing some disease or somebody expired in the family and all those things. It is normal to have this kind of things, sleepless nights, or maybe during COVID time, etc., whatever. So for my case, I'm just giving little off because it just came to me. I felt like, even there was some kind of thing, like anxiety, etc., has gone long back. So peace of mind is there. But if some external was so strong and very recently, very raw and recently happened, then those nights I felt that, Mataji is coming and, touching my forehead, and I want to sleep like few minutes. Yeah. I'm just sharing my personal experience. In our group, there are many who also, felt those things, Mataji's hands, and even I can hear some kind of, lori type of song. What normally the mothers, they sing to like a very small babies to go to sleep, and that kind of thing. And the one, I'm just sharing my experience. The one Mataji singing for me, it was one of the, like a Bengali, we call it some short poetry, like a chora, we call it. Yeah, that was that Lori, in the Bengali, it says the koka ghumalo para julalo borgi eshe bulbulite dhan kheyeche khajna debo kishe. So koka ghumalo means the sun has slept, para juralo, the whole mahalla has got silent. Koka ghumalo para julalo borgi elo deshe. Borgi means the attacker. Those attacks, earlier days used to happen, the dacoits and other, they used to attack some some land for thing they call Borgi. Borgi means foreigners, they attack the land. So they're the Borgi. Borgi elo deshe. Bulbuli te dhan keje, that's a bird, nightingale, bulbul. Dhan keje. Dhan means the rice, that the rice, they have eaten the rice. From where I will pay the taxes. That was the literal meaning of that. Mata used to sing this song to keep me asleep. Anyway, so this particular song has a huge spiritual meaning. Each and every word is spiritual, in fact. Only Mataji revealed during that, when I gone into that, he revealed, and later on a lot of other things. The nightingale, actually, I'm a little diverging, but I think it is better. It has come to let me share it. So the very high level, when you attain that different levels of enlightenment, and the very high level of enlightenment where you are fully connected with that. So there is some higher dimensional sound comes. You can able to, feel that sound. I'm not saying listening. Listening is ear thing. Yeah, you can feel that sound, or it is played within you. That particular sound, the tune, is very similar to the nightingale's voice. Nightingale is melodious, right? So bird, we call it nightingale. Lata Mangeshkar was she was known as the nightingale of India and things like that. So this particular song, the tune of nightingale, you can hear if you experience that kind of thing. Almost these are the plays in the background of when you experience oneness. So that level. So, and in that poetry, what I just explained about the Lodi type of thing in Bengali. So we can have another session and discuss in detail. But anyway, so those are having a very meaningful thing. So lack of sleep is one of the main reasons. So you should get the good night's sleep, and it will help you to get out of this brain fog. And eating healthy and nutritious meals, it is a common for everything. So health, it is a physical body, and physical body needs need some good high level of pranic food so that the pranic energy can express itself through your body, your physical body. So the healthy means which helps health, eating healthy and nutritious, which helps health and have the energy, high level of energy. So those are the nutritious, the meals. So that it is recommended by the doctors that we should do that, and that we all know. But I'm just saying that these are the things: eating healthy and nutritious foods. Then they are recommending getting 30 minutes of physical activity each day. So it is a physical body. It's like a machine. You need to, run it regularly to keep it active, so that all bodily function can work properly. So it is a good thing. Then taking short breaks throughout the day to reduce overworking your brain. So I was explaining, so if you're working on something in the office, maybe in front of the computer, or even reading something, and brain gets jammed. So you need, then people go out for a coffee or smoke or thing like that. I don't recommend smoke. But I'm just saying that's what people do to take a break after it is good thing. If you can just take a break and go a little bit sleep during that time, it is a fantastic. But all of us, we don't have the luxury to do it. But if you can, in that way, midday break or things like that, or during lunch hours, if you can get a little bit of rest, and even mild sleep is good. Napoleon Bonaparte, and he was going for a war. He was riding a horse. He can take a nap on the back of a horse. It is a fantastic skill. Without falling down from the horse, he used to take sleep while the horse is still moving, because you need to reach to that particular battlefield within a specific amount of time. You cannot stop and take rest, anywhere in a small motel or anywhere. He doesn't have that time to do that, but he can, and that's why he can be very energetic. He can guide his army well, and he can give the instructions and things like that. So that is short breaks the doctors are recommending. Then that is why they reduce the overworking of your brain. So time to time give a little break so that your brain doesn't overwork, and then it leads to the brain fog and other kind of things. Okay, then they are saying the participating in psychotherapy or cognitive behavioral therapy. So there are some therapies that they are, psychotherapy and all those things. So that will also help. So, and they also have the medical things, also some medicine, etc. I'm not going into that detail. So there are treatments available, but they can do to help you to come out of the brain fog. So, okay, so those are the medical advices on brain fog. Then brain fog impacts on the mental level. This is the understanding. Now I'm slowly starting. Medical part is over. Now I'm just starting about the understanding, the truth, and as per my experience, I will share my experience, whatever, the spiritual experiences and all. See, what happens is the brain fog, it comes, of course, it is a mental level phenomena, the mind level phenomena. So, and the mind is, its name is a brain fog. So it is, let's call it some activity of the brain. I will come back to the brain also. But brain is not equivalent to mind. Mind is much more than only brain. So, like, what are the mind activities? Thoughts. Thoughts are inside the brain, or outside, or where the thoughts are. You don't know. Okay. It's an idea that it is inside the brain, but it may not be. So it is in the earlier, the Panchakosha, like the Vedic science, they say that Panchakosha, first one is Annamaya Kosha. That's what I was telling, that food is important because you have to maintain the physical body. So there is a Manamaya Kosh also. So there's a mental body, or in the English, it is also emotional body. So those things, they have been the kosha, the layer. They say it is with the physical body, but they are not inside the body. That's what the Vedic understanding is. So then whenever we say the mind thing, why we go to the brain? I'm just sharing my understanding. I've thought about it. I've done my own research on this. That's what I'm sharing here. So why people think that mind is equivalent to brain? Mind power is equivalent to brain power. Your mental problem means it is a brain problem. Your intelligence, IQ, is directly related to your brain. Why people say that? What is the rationale? I have done my own research, because from that, if you see that Panchkosha thing, it's a full body. That mental impressions and all pravritti and all those kind of things are there in the mental body, not in the physical. So it is quite understandable that they are not inside the body. They're somewhere outside or around the body. Okay. But here, our so-called traditional thinking, common understanding is it is in the brain. So why they think that it is because our brain is equivalent to the mind? Then I come to my own research. I just concluded that what happens is, if the brain does not work, then in that sense, the mind also doesn't work, because there's a connection point between your body and the mind is the brain. It is a connector. If the connector is missing, then the mental activity you will not experience. That's why when we sleep, then active mind is not working. So in that, sleep comes not the conscious mind. So whether the conscious mind was inside the brain, no. But your brain has a connect to the conscious mind, and that's what you can have all the experiences. It's only what happened, that brain, that instrument which connects between the so-called mental body and the physical body, is the brain. So that stopped working, or that not working in a particular way. That's why you have the other experiences. So at the time of death, you cannot have any mind, because it lost complete connection with the mind. So there is no instrument there which can catch what is going on in the mind. So body become a dead body, including the brain. Okay. Anyway, so it is there is no point in going too much into the logic. Okay, because that's what logically when I thought, that was my conclusion. But to be honest, that is not fully true. So truth is somewhere much beyond. So we need to have our own exploration to find out this mystery of mind. Mind is our biggest tool gifted by the Creator, because mind shows some characteristic what a very high level of spiritual domain can have. What is that? Like, our mind is only thing in your human body which can defy the limitation of time and space. How? Okay. See, I'm just now thinking I'm landing on the Mars. Okay. Fraction of a second, my mind goes to the Mars planet. And physically going there will take years. Or you can go, suddenly you close your eyes and think that you are playing with a dinosaur. So you go right 15 million years back, just now. Okay. So space, like you can go to any space, any place in the space instantly. Just your thought can go there, or you can time travel anything, just imagining it, thinking about it, and it will go there instantly. Yeah. This characteristic of mind represent is a very high level of characteristics of spiritual domain. In the spiritual domain, there is no time and space. And look at that. We have been gifted that stool which represent those things. Then that will be the greatest thing we should have, right? And that's why the saying says, I'm thinking, I think, therefore I am. Confucius or somebody, some philosopher told this, yeah? I think, therefore I am. If you go into this understanding that this is the tool, the best tool the humanity can ever have, which has the representation of the characteristics of the higher domain, is it the right understanding? Unfortunately, answer is complete big no. Okay. Why big no? Because we are having such a great gift from the Creator, which is having the characteristics of the higher domain. Then what is the problem? Problem is the same thought become thoughts, flow of thoughts, become obstacle to experience as the truth. We cannot experience just by thinking. Experience need to have a first hand. Then only it can convert into our truth. Thinking about it is not the truth. It has got a capacity of defying time, defying space, yes. But by doing so, what it creates is imagination. It is not real, not truth. It is illusion. That's why it's called, we are living in a world of Maya. Maya means illusions. Why illusion? Because it's created. It is not created by the Creator. It is created by your mind. Because of those abilities, it can create. No, you can close your eyes and playing with a dinosaur which is left, millions of years back. It left, it become, extinguished animal. But you can still do that right now as per your will. Huh? You have a free will. You can create anything in your mind. But those are not the truth. Those are the projections, like a cinema movie projecting. These are not the truth. So experience the truth, the same mind become obstacle. It creates so much of imagination that we cannot experience the truth. Like you wanted to experience, say, some kind of, say, sunrise. That is your direct experience of a sunrise. If there are too many things in between, even it is the fog, okay, fog and then dust and there are heavy particles and all those things. You cannot see it clearly. What is the point? You cannot experience a sunrise at in totality. These events are diluting them, contaminating it. So, in one sense, yes, mind has a characteristic, what it is inside our, not inside again. It is, we can have that kind of thing, but it is all illusions. Mind can create that, but it is illusion. So for the truth, when we wanted to experience the truth, the same mind becomes the obstacle. When to quieten the mind, to have that. All right. So from that, this analysis, okay, if it is a brain fog, that means our full capacity of mind is not working. It is a lower level stuff. It is not about the absolute truth. It is not about the sky. It is about the cloud. Cloud is overcast. It is raining. Or cloud has a small patches. The sunlight cannot come properly, fully. That's possible. Those are the fogs, brain fogs. When we remove all those things, we can see the truth as it is. So, in that, there is a clue is that if we can, get out of this your mind business, then the clarity will emerge automatically. All these things, because of whatever we explained so far, these are some mind activity. We are not focusing or not being alert and concentration and this, that. All those kind of things, if we can silence the mind altogether, then we go some level which is beyond mind. That is also the explanation when coming to the next point. Yeah. So first thing is first to understand that brain fog impacts on the mental level. I just explained in the detail. It is on mind level. Brain is just a representative of the mind, not a representative instrument through which mind works within the physical body. So this is, but if there is some mental activity, so this is a mental phenomena. Brain fog is also a mental phenomena. So if we can somehow quieten our mind, quieten the activity, all the problems will solve by itself. It's all mind problem. The mind is silenced, or if you wanted to use the higher words, mind is purified, then those problems will disappear automatically because it is a purified mind. No need to see the problem of a mind. The mind itself is quietened. So there is a cleaned. So everything will be clear on its own. Issue is about the clarity, no? You cannot do the clarity. If the mind activity is quietened, clarity will emerge automatically. So that is the idea. So then next point what we are saying is that healing of mindless-ness by mindfulness. Okay. Here also I have something to say. What was the issue? Brain fog is your mind cannot work properly. So there is some less mind is in play. Lesser mind is in play. Lesser mental activity in play. Why I'm saying lesser? Lesser from what? Lesser from the average, what I explained earlier. Low concentration. Low means with respect to the average common human being, what is the normal? Lower than that. Yeah? That's what we called, it's a lowering. So it is mind is less active. So if you can use the English word, so it is a mindless-ness. Okay. Lesser mind. Mind is not working 100%. So it should be mindless-ness. Yeah? We also say, this is a mindless behavior. So that means you are not thinking what you are doing. That's what we call it, mindless behavior. Yeah? So, or we advise sometimes to think before you act. Because don't act with a lesser mind or lesser analysis of whatever you're going to do and the repercussion thereof. So this is mindlessness. So then if it is a less mind, then when the mind becomes full, we can automatically get out of it. What is mind full of? Full of clarity, not full of thoughts. Many people, they misunderstand it. Yeah. There are many people are offering the mindfulness or mindful meditations and things like that. Mindfulness is a very common word in today's spiritual world. So all the light workers and also mindful meditation, mindful. So the Eckhart Tolle, he is a very famous master, I'm sure. The Power of Now and other books he has written. So he was telling, when people talk about mindfulness, then I feel it gives the impression mind is full. Our aim is not to fill the mind, fill up the mind. Our aim is to empty the mind. So actual, correct spiritual term should have been the mind zero meditation or mind empty meditation, not mindful meditation. That's absolutely true. Mindful give a different impression. Mindful does not mean mindful of thoughts. That's absolutely the opposite meaning of what you can perceive out of this word. Mindful is mind is fully alert. All part of mind is alert and aware. Mind is fully awakened. Mind is fully live. This is what meaning of mindfulness. Not by mind filled with thoughts and junks and other things. No. That maybe the misunderstanding can come from there. That's what Eckhart Tolle was mentioning. The mindfulness meditation it may give common people who doesn't know about the spirituality, give a very, false idea about mindfulness. Mindfulness is not filling the mind and go top up like a bottle of water, fill up to the top. No, it is not that. You empty. Whatever is there, you empty it. And then it becomes because of the full capacity. It's a mindfulness. Anyway, so I hope it is understood. So it is true that whatever the impacts of mindlessness, it can be healed by mindfulness, because whatever the deficiency, those have been met. Those have been, those have been filled with clarity. So suppose the vision empowerment, impaired vision in the fog. You cannot see things clearly. So what is the solution to that? Fill all the atmosphere with the light. So that is the fullness of the environment. With the light, you can see everything. Fog is limiting that vision. Your vision, suppose you are driving again. I'm giving same logic, same example. So your vehicle speed has been lowered because you cannot see things properly. You cannot see beyond, say, 50 meters. You cannot drive properly. So if it was same thing with the airports, no? So you might have noticed in the airport, the many places, particularly in the hill stations and northeast, they announce the visibility, like how much distance is the visible in the fog. And there is certain limit that it should be visible before a flight can take off. So the flight has been delayed because of fog. And then they announce visibility now increased to this meter, that meter. There is a limit. There is a threshold beyond which they need to be there. I think it is a 2 kilometer. Then flight can take off. Even in the fog, but it's still up to 2 kilometer is clear. I don't know if anybody knows exact figure, you can tell here. But that is the thing. As I say, now it is 500 meter, visibility. Now it's gone to up to 1 kilometer, but still flight cannot take off. So finally it will take off. So 2 kilometer beyond, you can see the full visibility and the flight can take off. So here, same thing here. So after a certain, the limit, if it is the mind, the thoughts are silenced and all those things, but almost minimized, then you can say that mind is fully ready. It's a full, and that fullness of the mind, when there is no thought, then we get a healing. When mind is clean of thoughts, mind is silent, the stillness of mind is achieved, then our body automatically heals itself. Our mind gets automatically healed. All the problems, whatever we discussed, physical ailments will go away. Why? Because now we experiencing mindfulness. No thought, no fog. Okay? The area full of light. Same here. That state, that healing is called Turiya healing. During meditation, we go to the Turiya state. Turiya state is a fourth state of mind. I explain by 2x2 table. I explain in the workshops. The first one is a awake state, Jagrut Avastha. Then it is a Swapna Avastha, sleep state. Then Shushupta Avastha, that is deep sleep state or coma type thing. And another one was Turiya Avastha. Turiya Avastha is a highly meditative state. You're fully alert and aware. Yeah. So, and fully alert about your surroundings, etc. But your ego vanishes completely. Yeah. So then you become a Turiya state. In the Turiya state, when you go in mind, you can bring it to the Turiya state. Then you are a complete state of healing. That complete state of healing automatically heals it. You need not to find where the problem is. You go to that level, the body heals itself. More frequently you go to the Turiya state, that much faster you can get out of this brain fog business or whatever, physical ailments. It can get off quickly. You have to stay there. You have to be in that state. And that state will have some kind of your physical things inside your body. It will adjust itself, go into that high energetic state. And another advantage is in that state, you are not losing any energy through thoughts. Most common people, they have some 60,000 thoughts per day in the awake state, and they take a lot of the energy. And when you go to that no thought zone or Turiya state, those energies are not wasted into those kind of thoughts. So in the mind is free from thought. When mind is free from thought, that energy directly goes into enhancing your vibrations, cellular vibrancy. So when you go to the higher level of cellular vibrancy, your body heals itself. That is a healing state. That automatically heals it. So like, so just similar analogy, if you say you're too much trouble with the rain and in the lower level, the mud and all those things, how to get out of it? Take an aeroplane, go beyond the cloud level. It is all clear and fine. No rain, no cloud, nothing there. You are a full sunshine all the time. So all the issues are, if you calm down, then everything, any Tom, Dick and Harry will come and kick you, metaphorically speaking. So all this disease and this and that trouble, mental problem, cognitive issues, and whatever this full of medical terms what you read earlier, all disappear. Doesn't need to know that what so-called cognitive, disorder or what is that? Impairment means. Doesn't matter. Whatever the impairment, all go haywire. If you go to the level of this kind of things, Turiya state, all impairments will go because you are a high energy state. That is a healing state of your body. You can reach on your own. You don't need any medicine. You don't need the doctor's consultation, not take any special therapy to come out of that. Just practice, you go there, it will take care by itself. Okay. Right. So this is about the mindlessness and mindfulness. So, and then we go into the understanding of left brain, right brain, midbrain. I will touch upon that. It's a big subject by itself, but it is important to know these things. Our brain has 3 parts. Most of the time, only 2 parts are working, major 2 parts. One is left brain, one is right brain. And there are some, the functionalities of each brain activity. One called it logical brain, another one is called our creative brain. So left brain is logical brain and right brain is a creative brain. So what are the common things we have? Like left brain, we have analytical thought, which controls left brain, which part of our activities they control. They control our analytical thought, the logic, language, we'll speak, those things, science and mathematics, and the reading, writing, or our IQ level. These are all governed by our left brain. But right brain deals with, it is our like a art and music, creativity, intuition, the holistic thoughts, our personality, the implementation, the strategy, how we implement things in our lives. Those are governed by the right brain. Our memory is covered by the right brain, and the EQ, the emotional quotient, that is also governed by the right brain. So this left brain and right brain, so these are the 2 areas. So you can say that in the summary, it is the left brain is a logical brain. Anything with the logic, education, etc., those are these things. Anything with creativity, somebody's painting or all in the creative part is involved, those are governed by the right brain. We are these 2 are represented by 2 things in our body called Surya Nari, Chandra Nari, energetically. So this leading to the brain, that is Surya Nari supported. Sushumna Nari is the central, where the chakras are there, supported by 2 Surya Nari or Chandra Nari, or it's also called Ida and Pingla Nadis. Nari means energy channels in our body. So they also have multiple functions, like they control that the Surya Nadi controls that left brain and the right brain controlled by the Chandra Nadi. Surya means they create heat, Chandra means create cold. So last week, I think some of our member was asking, and during meditation, I feel sometimes a little hot and sometimes a little cold, and this is normal. Don't worry, that's what's wrong with me. This is normal because those particular time when the Surya Nadi is active, we feel heat. And when Chandra Nadi is active, we feel cold. It is normal. This system, it is automatic system. And it controls our body temperature and many other functions within our body, including the brain. It needs to have that kind of thing, activity. So these two, and normally every 1.5 hour, 2 hours, it changes itself. Like if you see you maintain a certain temperature in your room, then you see the air conditioner is working, sometimes stop, sometimes working. Yeah, just to maintain it. If temperature goes low, then it stops automatically below a certain set temperature. But if it go a little higher than a set temperature, it starts. That's how it maintains the temperature of the room. Same thing to maintain temperature of our body. Those two nadis, they work in alternative things, and that affects, you can feel it. The sensitive person, they can feel it. The heat and cold form, they can feel it. Heat is not the only thing they are controlling, but these two, there's some, we can measure it and thing, as I mentioned, that they are also the left brain, right brain. So left brain is only logical and right brain is creative. Nari thing, what Nari is currently working and try to find out by change in body temperature, etc. is very difficult. You need to be very, very sensitive. So how do you know which brain is working at that moment? As I said, it changes every 1.5 hour to 2 hours. It changes automatically, So you check with your nostril. Yeah, one nostril is dominant, and another one. So in my case now, the left nostril is stronger than the right. It's not completely blocked, but something, it takes little block is there, another is free flowing. So that is, we call the dominant nostril. So if this left nostril is dominant, then you think like that. It's like a crisscross. If my left nostril is dominant, then my right brain is active at that particular point of time. Creative brain is active. If any given point of time, my right nostril is on or dominant, then my left brain, logical brain, that is active. Up to this point, it's clear. Yeah. So how we can check? We can check our nostril. We cannot check our nadis and all. It's not possible physically to check the nadis. But you can physically check your nostril and you know which brain is active at that time. Let me also tell you, one brain active does not mean another brain is completely off. Only the activity is more here, dominating, same as the nostril. Other activities are less, but they are taking precedence. Anyway, so then what is the midbrain? Midbrain is, it is a connection between left brain and right brain. And that is normally, there is a small gland is there, a pituitary gland. So most of our cases, those are not activated properly. The activation means that our full brain is not lit up. Not every part of the brain is, major portions are left and right. Because of our education, etc., normally the left brains or the logical brains are very, very dominant. Most of the time we take decisions and action we take, things we we think about those thoughts. Those are normally the brain, left brain driven, logical. Anyway, so this gland I was talking about, so there is a possible to activate the gland. Why it is necessary to activate it? Why it is not active from the beginning? Yes, it does. In the beginning when you take birth, it is normally become active. Very early or childhood, it is all active. This is also so-called we are connected with our creator that time. Slowly, this, what happens is some layer comes on top of that gland. Because of that layer, it becomes like inactive. For mostly by the time we hit adulthood, any adult, like by the time we hit 18 years of age, and those are completely coated and it's gone. Like it will not give you some effect. Because of that, the bridge is missing. That's why we don't have the balance in life. What are the same characteristics? I will just explain a little bit, but just understand that roughly how it works. This part, it is not about the logic and creation. It is the matter is governed by our wisdom, intuition, and even spirituality. So those are governed by the midbrain. So when we meditate, those are more and more the midbrain get activated, because that will come to a state, because anyway we are quietening our mind, right? Meditation means mindless-ness, mindfulness, silence, complete inner silence. So that mind is there, so that gives chance that energy goes into the midbrain, the midbrain start acting. Earlier I was talking about those layers. The calcification happens, hard layer. Like calcium carbonate or this kind of stuff. These are called the hard layers. So then why those things are formed? That because all our higher abilities are limited because of that. Because our midbrain are that pituitary gland discovered with this. Why those kind of thing happen? Then there was research has been done, and they found that but some of the elements, if you take in our food or anything, that creates that kind of layer. And one of the main culprit is fluorine. Any fluoride we take, that is responsible for creating those kind of layer around our midbrain or the pituitary gland. And then the activation becomes very difficult. We cannot break that. In the childhood, it is easier. Up to, say, 10, 12 years of age, it can be removed easily. But when you go to the adulthood, it's very difficult to remove those layers because the cover gets so solid and so strong, it's very difficult to get out of it. And when those layers are formed, then the higher abilities, the power of the connection, soul connection, etc., we cannot realize those things because it is in the physical body that is covered. It is not working. That's why there is imbalance between left brain and right brain. This bridge has been blocked. Like a war, they removed the bridge by bombing. So the two cities connected by the bridge are not working. The stability it needs to construct the bridge is not there, so that the bridge can be rebuilt and all those kind of things. So anyway, let me go back to the fluoride stuff. So we should not take anything which has fluoride in it. So we should go for the alternative. And if you are, most of the time it is coming in the fluoride comes in the toothpaste, fluoride toothpaste. Just check before buying any kind of thing. This is my advice, that if that particular toothpaste having fluoride, don't take it. Go for other options, which is not having fluoride. Like Ayurvedic and this kind of stuff, toothpaste, they will not have fluoride. Let me give another small story of that one. If the fluoride is there and calcification happen around your this pituitary gland, those people, they can be easily manipulated and controlled. Because they don't have the sense of power, their own power, those are not there. Their minds are active and the ego takes over and things like that. That happens most of the cases. If somebody has been more into the fluoride, there will be more. They can be easily subjugated by fear. The Hitler, what he used to do, whatever the places he wanted to attack or whatever that kind of things, all the water bodies, the lakes and things like that, the river, wherever the people used to take the drinking water, they put fluoride into it. So the people drink that water and that fluorine makes that it's coated and they're very easy to control. They cannot, reveal properly. They cannot, have clarity in thinking. They will be full of brain fogs and think just today's topic and things like that. If somebody is having brain fog, very easily to control them. The person is clarity is a much smarter. They can control them. Yeah, so manipulate them. That's what he was doing. But anyway, so that is his strategy to control people, control masses, to make it the weekend. Many, countries, they have used different things. Some of the countries, they send the enemy country too many of drugs, so that the younger generation, they cannot protest, they cannot do that because they are influence of the drugs. They can easily conquer that country, yeah, or they can easily beat up some kind of rebellion. Yeah? So that's what many people in the history, they did many things. Anyway, but the liberation is self-empowerment. So we have to get out of it on our own. Who else? It is inside my body. It's my first responsibility, the mind, to take care of it. Then we talk about who did what and which strategy they used against me. Yeah? Anyway, so the thing is, through the spiritual practices, that can be removed. Yeah? That we can have a full activation. All enlightened people, those layers have completely gone. And that's why they can have the experience of that wisdom, that have that kind of connection very easily. Yes, initially it took a lot of effort to break it open, crack open. But once it is done, it is cleaned and all those things, plus maintaining some kind of food habit and other things which doesn't make them to go in, and also lifestyle practices, as I said, fluoride, etc. So they don't take it. So that's how they get into that. And this connection is there is a process called midbrain activation. There are it is easier to get done in that. Then you get your psychic abilities, like beyond the normal abilities, human abilities, but those are hidden. To activate them, like clairvoyant and all. So, and synesthesia, means one thing, one sense you can use to cover the another sense. Like reading something blindfolded, just smelling, you can tell the color. Those are synesthesia. So those are the kind of example that happens if your midbrain is activated. In spiritual terms, this midbrain activation also very commonly known as third eye opening. So third eye means there is no physical eye. So this is the eye of the wisdom. This third eye is directly connected to the decalcification and clear of the pituitary gland and that its activities. So the left brain, right brain is balanced, and then it is active, and then gets the connection through meditation, spiritual practices. These are opened and they practice, and they can retain that. Yeah? So this is about that three brains what I talked: left brain, right brain, logical brain, left brain, right brain is creative brain, and the midbrain, it is the higher abilities as a human being or spiritual connection, that to see the truth as they are, and all those things are governed by this midbrain. One thing, let me tell you, midbrain also, by the way, midbrain also you can activate by anulam viloma. You know that 21 times anulam viloma. If you do that, your midbrain will be activated. Left and right both will be, that it will be not been active because midbrain has taken over. Only one thing I should tell you, that the midbrain thing, if the midbrain is, as and when midbrain is activated, that time no physical work is possible, but the spiritual work is possible. Like if you wanted to go and catch a train and all, it's not a good idea to activate midbrain before you go out, for that. Or sitting in a plan, suppose you're sitting in a business plan, from where you get the fund, from which bank to contact. Midbrain is not good for that. Means it is not meant for that. It is meant for your personal growth and connection. So I'm just giving a caution of note here, that all the time then let my midbrain these things, that is not a good idea. What is you need, that by choice you say, now my left brain will work because I need some logical stuff. Now I'm doing some performance, maybe I'm acting or some singing. I need my right brain to be active. This time I'm going for an interview or exam. My left brain should be active. Now I'm meditating, trying to connect, having higher experiences. Now my midbrain should be active. This choice you should have on your own. If you can do that, you are a master. on your will, not leave it to the chances. So if you give it to the chances, your midbrain will never activate. Okay, that's why not many people have experienced all those kind of things. Anyway, this is about that the three brains. So, and I hope you get the idea that how it is, this understanding of left brain, right brain, midbrain activities I just told. Spiritual domain beyond mind through midbrain activation. So beyond this, through this midbrain activation, we connect to the higher realm. We see the higher truths, the connection to the higher domains. So whatever affecting your physical life, if you can channel that energy and give it to your practical lives or external lives, that is the right combination to lead a life. For that, only one condition is your mind should be quietened. Mind should stop working. Otherwise, it will contaminate everything. So first is quieten the mind, get the connection. Most of the things simply by giving attention, just focusing on certain things, it will solve by its own. That is called power of consciousness. Power of consciousness is the attention. Wherever you give the attention, that will bring that energy and heal it. That is the fundamental tool of healing. Wherever you give attention, that power of consciousness is connected. Your mind is, the silenced or still, so the energy can flow freely and it will having a very fast, healing and recovery. If the mind is chattering, it will slow down. And if mind is creating some illusion and projecting itself, then nothing will happen. It will keep stuck into that kind of illusion. Actual healing will never take place. So thoughts are the instrument of mind. And the attention is the instrument of the consciousness. So give it a priority. Give it attention without engaging your mind. That is the right combination. That is the way you go. That is what you say beyond mind. Just, 2 days back, I think Guruji Prem Nirmalji, Dr. Guruji was celebrating Dada Gavant, his guru's birthday, our Param Guru. So for the enlightenment part only, not Kriya Yoga. So his famous book, Beyond the Mind, Dada Gavant's book, is highly recommended. So all these experiences are beyond mind. And unless until you go beyond that, it is not possible to have those kind of experiences in the logical mind and this right brain and left brain things only. Unless until your midbrain is activated, you will not have this kind of higher experiences. All the spiritual practices that going towards that, and that is how you can have the experiences of the, after your midbrain is activated, then all your so-called third eye is opened, and then you will have a wisdom also, intuition, knowingness, all this. So spiritual qualities will come and your experience will change. You will be able to experience the truth firsthand. Okay, not the version of anyone. So you need that. You need the firsthand experience. And what is the bridge of you and that experiences is your midbrain. That is within your body. Through that, through the physical body, the higher body's connection is set up through this midbrain. So with this, I will conclude this learning session. So if there is any question, so you are welcome to ask me. Let me save the attendees. Okay. Uma, okay, go ahead with your question.
Pranam Guruji. Is there any technique like ego annihilation technique? Is there like that? Is there any technique for reducing mind fog?
Okay, so just a first technique, very easy, is 108 stomach breathing. If you practice 108 stomach breathing, it can reduce the fog because you are energizing yourself, cellular vibrancy goes up, and it can take care of itself. So those who are practicing the 108 stomach breathing regularly, they have a much, much less brain fog than any other average person. That is really, there is no magic formula. Means whatever you learned from your master, the guru, if you just simply follow that, it will be done. So no issues with that. This is not a new issue. I'm just explaining it because there is something called brain fog. We need to know what is there. But it is whatever practices we are following and recommending, it automatically takes care of that. You didn't learn anything new or go to a doctor to address this. So this is the kind of thing. But one point I must say from my experience with dealing with thousands of people and their issues, as I mentioned, daily I receive some call or message, 10 to 15 people, they contact me to get advice on many things. Of course, as long as life is there, there will be issues or problems or these things you need looking for a solution. That's fine with that. But in this case, so whatever the practices have been given, most of the people, they don't follow the guidance. I can feel that, but I'm not there to judge anyone. So when they say that this is the problem, I clearly understand they are not following the regular practices. As simple as that. If they followed, this problem would not have come. But I do my own healing and channel and all those things. But because of some excuses or other, they are not doing it. They're not following. 108 stomach breathing, Kriya and meditation. That's all you need to do. Okay. Because of some excuse, if you cannot do it, then how can you expect the results? I'm not talking you, by the way. Uma, I'm not talking you, Uma. I'm talking most of the things when I hear.
Guruji, you come to know everything.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is when I listen, most of the thing I realize they didn't follow they don't practice 108 stomach breathing or Kriya or meditation daily. Yeah. Because if you don't follow, how can you get the benefit of the spiritual things? Whatever has been told by the master, it all came from Babaji in this case. So my answer will be, if there is any issue, my answer will be same. First, you make sure that is not happening. Second point, what I was just trying to address, second point is a karmic. Sometimes, even if you do all the things what has been you are taught, you have been told, but the past karmas are such that it takes time to heal that completely, because you need to complete certain things before you get actual things to take place. That process is annihilation, what you mentioned earlier. That annihilation will happen in a combination of all these things. Even sometimes we need to suffer a bit to get rid of it completely and permanently. By suppressing it, it's not a good idea. It will come back again after some time, some years and all those things. So whoever has come to the spiritual path, they are already vibrating higher. So also, sometimes what is in our system, hidden in our system, that also surface up. Some trauma, what we might have forgotten, that can come up and we become emotional. Suddenly I'm start feeling like crying. I got many messages. I feel like crying. I'm feeling sad. Why it is happening? I'm practicing everything. Then I realized it is happening because some trapped energy has been, opened up. Like a bubble. I say, allow it to pass by. It's okay. Don't give too much attention. Don't go too much, empowerment to that. It will like a bubble. It will come to the surface and disappear. I'm talking, suppose in a fish aquarium. You see, there are some bubble generating machines are there in the fish aquarium. The people came, put in their homes. So what happens is there is some bubble comes. So bubble goes and disappear. Allow that bubble to get released. So same here. So if one is doing completely all the spiritual practices properly, then there will be some cases because of this karmic thing, something is happening. It is better to just pass it and let go once. It will be over. It will be much, much faster. But completely zero is not possible because those karma will give some effect. Only the severity can be reduced. That's what I say, that you are protected by Babaji, and blessed by Babaji, protected by nothing, absolute bad thing will happen. But this is a process you have to undergo. Okay. This is just like a surgery. That much pain, it will happen. But after the surgery, you will be permanently cured from that particular disease. Suppose somebody has a kidney stone. During removal of the kidney stone, there will be some pain. But end of the day, it will be all fine. It will be long-term. Health will appear, but that process needs to happen. Okay, Uma?
Thank you, Guruji. Got the answer. Thank you so much.
Okay, God bless you. Sreshi?
Guruji, my question is related to meditation. So sometimes, like when I meditate after Kriya, some of the days thoughts come more often, and some of the days meditation is better. So is it something to do with which brain is active at the moment, and should we take care of that before meditating?
No need. Means don't give too much of weightage to these things. I say just ignore. See, what happens, more you become worried about thoughts, those thoughts take the energy. Okay, they receive more energy. If you ignore, it is like a, attention-seeking thing. Like, sometimes the child cries to get the attention. So as the thoughts. Because our aim is not to energize the thought. Let it come. I'm not saying absolute zero, may not be possible, But whatever is happening, your duty is to detach from it, not to make it zero. If you keep your detachment, automatically it will lose its fuel and it will become zero one day. So my advice is, whatever it comes, don't give too much of attention to them. And if we give attention, then what will happen? The power of consciousness will come and energize them. Don't give attention. Just ignore them. It's okay. Something came and it will go out as well. Thought cannot stay there. It is always flowing. It came in, it will go out as well. It's okay. Let it be. But don't give attention. If you give attention, it will be more powerful. Then more and more, it will call its friends and relatives and make a picnic in your mind.
Okay, Guruji, thank you.
All right. Okay. God bless you. Okay, Vikas, go ahead.
Yeah. My understanding about awareness is it is through mind. And if it is right, then during deep sleep and turiya, the mind is totally silence. So
Okay.
how we can be aware in turiya state about the surroundings?
Okay, the two part, let me ask, the awareness is not mind. Okay. Awareness is not through mind. Awareness is a direct experience, not through mind. Mind need to be silenced. But if you want technically, then to some extent, your midbrain should be active to receive that experience, which is a very small, tiny part of your brain. So, in that sense, that to get that has to be energized to get this experience. But awareness is not, just first to clarify, awareness is not through mind. Okay, awareness is the aware of itself. It is not through mind. Awareness is like you're expressing your own qualities. Like normally I give an example of as a flower is giving fragrance.
Okay.
However, flower is giving it fragrance, whether it doesn't matter which part is coming that particular fragrance. It is its nature, it is expressing itself. Same as the awareness. Awareness is not coming through the brain. Okay, not coming through mind. Awareness reveals itself. You can experience it. To experience, rather, you have to stop your mind to experience it properly. Okay, just if you want to have a sensational sense experience, like you are touching something hot.
Yeah.
Okay, that is your experience. Because it is senses, it processes through your brain. That is how it happened.
Okay.
But so if you are talking about your external experience, then your brain comes. But awareness is not your external experiences. Awareness, your internal connection. Through internal connection, it comes. That's why you don't need the senses, and definitely you don't need the processing unit, which is brain. That's how it is a pure experience, because it is not contaminated by your brain or mind. It actually bypasses the mind and truth will be delivered to you. They are much, much powerful than the mind. To be honest, mind doesn't have the capacity to process awareness, that level.
Okay.
It comes from the creation. Let me go to the creation thing. Two things.
Yeah.
One is the love and light of awareness, and the pure love. And those two form the universe.
Yes.
This light of awareness, subtle energy, our brain or our mind doesn't have a capacity to process it. It can pretend to process to some extent. Like एक चुल्लू भर पानी में, समंदर में जाके, you take some water in your hand. You said, my hand is holding the sea. Maybe it is correct technically, because some water you are holding.
Yes.
But the question is it the sea? No. The hand doesn't have a capacity to hold the sea. Same as the awareness. You can take some part of it and claim it as an awareness, like some water I took from the sea and claim it is a sea. I can claim it, but that is not the truth. That's what I meant by our brain or our mind doesn't have a capacity to have that kind of awareness. It is a primordial, creative, infinite force that cannot be held by the mind or whatever the instruments we have, physical or subtle. None of the instrument can hold that kind of things. So this is the normal understanding. So this is about the first part. Second part, you are asking about something. What is that? Can you repeat, please?
Then my thing,
dream or something. You are asking about dream something.
No. My question was, actually it is answered now.
No, please tell me. I will link it.
I started
second part.
Because I started with my understanding is awareness is through mind.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned,
what is the second part of your question?
As you mentioned, it is to the extent it is, but it is for outside. But internalization.
Tell me what is your question? Second part of your question. Forget about my explanation.
Yeah.
What is the second part of your question?
Deep sleep and Turiya, where the mind is silent. So during Turiya state, how we can be aware of the surrounding?
Yeah, very good. Yeah. That's what now I have explained the background. So it is easy to understand that. So this is mind, silence of mind, in fact, is a requirement. It is not an option. Without silencing, you will not get on into all those things, all the higher experiences. Because it comes in between. In the channel itself, it comes so that you cannot experience it. It contaminates it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why mind need to be silenced. My mind to be, taken aside. We have to somehow control our mind, stop the chattering. That's why the new faculty will open up when we can have the taste of the infinite. Okay, so during this deep sleep or the Turiya Avastha, then we can have that kind of experience. So it is actually called the super conscious mind. When wake up state, it's a conscious mind. In the
Yes.
sleep state, it is subconscious. In deep sleep, it is unconscious mind, and the Turyavastha superconscious mind. It is called a mind, but it is nothing to do with the brain. It is the background of everything, where everything is played. We call it as a canvas, or the screen where the movie is projected. It is the screen, the background. Like in the universe, it is a space where the physical universe has been placed.
Yes.
Like that.
Okay.
So that is super consciousness. So it cannot, the super consciousness cannot contain in the mind of any level.
Any level. Yeah.
Okay, that is a consciousness which is much beyond the capacity of mind. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
God bless you. Hi, Indranilla.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
My question is, see, the common perception is the mind resides in the brain. I mean, people keep saying, control your mind, and they put here, But now we know it is not so, right? The question is, if there is a midbrain, right brain, and left brain, and you're saying the midbrain over a period of time gets calcified, right?
Yeah.
So, therefore, there is a connection with the brain and the mind?
Yeah. We experience certain mind activity through brain. Yeah.
But in that case, why is the mind and the brain not the same? Why is the mind not the brain?
No, that was I explained. No, that is a misunderstanding.
Okay.
Because mental activity are processed through brain. That's what we come to our senses. But not the vice versa. Means these things can happen that experience without going through the brain. If it happens through the brain, it is a mental activity. If it is not processing through the brain, it is a spiritual activity.
Okay.
Spiritual activity, what we can feel. Okay. Just for a argument's sake, yeah. Like we feel, love between two lovers. Tell me which part of the brain it follows.
It's the heart.
We call it a heart, but it is a feeling.
Right.
This is the information that need to be processed through the brain. But we have the experience of having that. Same thing, if you give it a magnified version of that, the spiritual connection, that infinite joy, it cannot be processed by brain. You can feel it. You can experience it without going through the brain.
Yeah, but if somebody is brain dead, he cannot, right? He cannot experience it.
Yeah, because see, if it is a brain dead, that means that even that experience also it cannot process in the physical level.
Right.
It will be there.
Right.
There are out-of-body experiences. Don't confuse that you need a brain. Need a body. There are out-of-body experiences. People have ND and many other things. Astral travel and so many things.
Right.
The body is not mandatory. You can still have experience without body. In fact, you can have a more experience without body. Body is a limitation. It's a cage.
Okay. Complicated, but it's fine.
Yeah. So the answer to that is there are certain experiences only you can have your physical body and the mind, but there are much more beyond. These becomes a limiting instrument. Unless until we silence them or bypass them, we cannot reach there.
Okay.
So this is how it need to be seen. Whether to run the physical operation in the external world, we need a body, yes. We need a brain, yes. We need a ego, yes. But the same ego, mind, body, intellect package is called ego. Same ego become an obstacle block to have the higher experiences, where ego has no role to play. Same body being used, but spiritual purposes. When that body become clean,
right,
Body, mental level, emotional level, it got cleaned. We call it antakaran suddhi, that process.
Okay.
After that, body doesn't die, but it is used for the purified purposes.
Right. Okay. A
Okay.
bit complex, but it's fine. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So now I think already the time has been over. So we'll do some Sri Om chanting, Shanti part. Then I conclude our session for today. Okay. Om.